How I market my coaching business to the tune of $30,000 to $40,000 per month without paid ads, complex setup, or any of that normal stuff you're told that you need. What's up guys, it's Jamie here. Today's video, like I say, is all about how I'm able to grow my coaching and affiliate business to 30 to 40K per month. And hopefully you guys are gonna be able to replicate some of the stuff I'm gonna be talking about in this video. Now, if this is the first time on the channel, I'd like to say a very warm welcome to you. As I say, my name is Jamie. I'm a full-time coach and high-ticket affiliate marketer, specializing in organic marketing, which means that you don't need to run paid ads. Now, I've got nothing against paid ads for the record. I actually ran an agency for a number of years until, as so many people watching would probably be able to relate to, Facebook came and went whoop-ah, slapped my Facebook account into oblivion. So I was forced to seek other measures and became a bit of a ninja when it came to the whole Facebook organic route. And that's what I do full time now. I am looking at getting back into ads, probably not on Facebook to be perfectly honest, be right here on the lovely tubes. I've run a few YouTube ads before and I'll probably start to push that a little bit more as my business continues to evolve. Now, how exactly did I go from relative obscurity back in 2019 to having my first $1,000 day with high ticket affiliate marketing right through to now cranking out 30 to 40K months just a couple of years on? Well, it's not that complex. It is not easy, but it's not that complex. So I'll break it down for you guys and hopefully you're going to be able to take away some of the things that I've been able to do in my business and hopefully replicate those in what you do as well. So the big one for me is crafting a really badass offer. Now, I'm probably already preaching to the choir there. I know a lot of people that are watching this, you've probably heard me say that before if you've been following my channel for any length of time. But if you don't have your offer dialed in, then the rest of the stuff isn't going to be as important. It needs to be a pretty badass offer that solves the person's problems, that looks to elevate the perception of value of that actual offer itself. And for context, I'm not necessarily talking about the link that you provide to your marketplace. I'm referring more to the way that you gift wrap that to present it to the market. Hopefully that makes sense. Now, you want to add incentives, like I say. You also want to add your level of support, especially if you are targeting high ticket products. People don't want to just feel like they've paid money and then the owner or the vendor of the product just completely disappears. So you do want to add your own additional support. Now, I am speaking to the affiliates there. I know a lot of people in the affiliate space are thinking, well, what's the point in that? Isn't that defeat the purpose of having an affiliate link? I just send them the link, they buy the product, and then I'm good to go. Well, yes, in theory. However, if you understand that if you give someone a good buying experience, they're actually 12 times more likely to buy based on your recommendation again. So leaving a lot of money on the table by not looking after your people as they go through that process. Plus, it also means that you're providing additional value to them. And aside from any monetary returns that you may get from that, I think it's good karma to be able to go out there and be able to help these people out as best as you can around the actual program that you're promoting as well. So that's the other thing. And then of course you want to sort of, I guess, unpack what's actually in the underlying components of the offer itself. Now, I don't necessarily mean like the features as in, hey, it's got 12 modules and it's got, this piece of paper that you can throw darts at and all that type of stuff. What I'm referring to here is the benefits of the actual program and the actual components of that program itself. And if it is a coaching offer, then think about what the core outcome is and how you can start to articulate that before someone even sees any of the sales material. Now, this is something that I talk about a lot in my Ultimate Marketing Mastermind, which is what I specialize in. I take very small groups, very small communities, and show people how to rapidly monetize those with, like I say, very, very tiny audiences. But this is one of the key features of that is having people see that material before they actually get to the sales material, right? So if it's already primed in their mind, you're actually pre-selling. So it's really, really powerful. And I suggest anyone does it. If you're a coach, if you're an affiliate marketer, all that type of stuff, that is going to do so much of the heavy lifting in your business as opposed to just relying on the capacity to sell and the capacity to create content that resonates with your ideal audience. So of course that was the big one for me. The other part of it became the positioning in the marketplace. Now, positioning is a really funny one. If you're new to this game and you're not sure what I'm talking about there, I mean how you're presenting yourself to your market, how you are I guess aligning, how you're seen as an authority in your space. There's a number of ways that you can do that without the financial results if you don't have those as yet. Number one would be interviews. Go out and find some people that you believe can help your audience and that you resonate with. Go ask them. You never know. It's not that complex. I've managed to get some pretty cool people on interviews over the years, quite simply by throwing out a very detached message to them without sounding needy, without, like saying, hey, do this thing, please do it for me, it's gonna be awesome. Instead, I just go and say, hey, listen, this is what I'm planning. I've always admired your work. Would you be open to jumping on an interview in my group at some stage? You're gonna get a whole bunch of no's. no's. That's completely fine. Get used to it. This is marketing. You're going to get a whole bunch of people saying yes, and that's what you can leverage. Now that there allows you to do something called credibility by association. And what that is, if you look at, like, I don't know, pretty much everyone has done this at some stage in their life, where people that take photos with people like Tony Robbins, for example, or presidents or celebrities, all that type of stuff, it's celebrity by association or authority by association as well. So you start to leverage that, especially if you're interviewing people that are quote unquote further up the food chain than you, so to speak, right? Other thing that you can do is get testimonials. So if you don't have those financial results yet, what you can do is go out and find 5 to 10 people that you go and truly just serve, right? You're not necessarily trying to sell them anything, just like, hey, listen, I have something I think is going to solve your problems for you. Can we hop on a Zoom call? And in that Zoom call, I'm going to explain X, Y, Z, how my process works, how I can help you out, how you can declutter some of the things that you're doing in your business. All I ask in exchange is a testimonial. So then you get a testimonial, now you've got social proof. And social proof is another thing. If you're able to leverage that, can be really, really powerful. Social proof can come in the form of the size of your audience. I don't think the size of your audience really matters at all. What I teach with my students is how to monetize very, very small audiences. People that have 30 or 40 people in their group are still making upwards of 3 to 4 grand type stuff. So you don't need a huge audience in order to monetize a business that monetizes really easily, right? But it is something that audience size does count for the untrained eye, shall we say. So if you have that, then kudos, right? Another one is getting engagement on your content. Now, it's not quite as relevant on YouTube because everyone can see how many viewers you've got and everyone can see how many likes you got, all that type of stuff. However, on the likes of Facebook, especially through your profile, or maybe LinkedIn is probably the same, it is something that we call a vanity metric. It doesn't necessarily move the needle in your business, so to speak, but at the same time, again, for the untrained eye, if you happen to stumble upon someone's post and they've got 200 to 300 comments per post, then instantly, subconsciously at least anyway, you've validated that person. They must know what they're talking about, right? So you can do that. It's not that hard. All you need to do is go out and spend a bit of time engaging in other people's content that are your ideal audience. And the reason why you do that is because you're activating something called the Law of Reciprocity. And sometimes those people will go, hey, you know what, that person's a bit of all right, I'm going to engage back. And so they might comment on your stuff, which then pushes it further out to the algorithm, which then means you get more eyeballs on your stuff, and other people see that and they think that is awesome, and now you got social proof, right? So these are some things that you can leverage without the financial results. Now, when you do get the financial results, it will allow you to skyrocket, there we go, use your words, allow you to skyrocket your results after that, and creates this kind of like vortex that just keeps floating and building, which is really, really cool. And that is how you create authority. Now, I'll throw this into a context, hopefully people can understand. So absent of a really, really kick-ass offer, I'll give you a real life example. Let's say Russell Brunson of ClickFunnels, or Alex Hormozy, or Dan Kennedy, I don't know, anyone that you admire in the marketing space for that matter. If they said, hey, listen, you know, I know my mastermind is normally 100 grand a year, but tell you what, I've got a couple of spots open, it's only going to cost you 10 grand. I guarantee if you're in the marketing game and you're familiar with those names, you already see them as an authority, right? And so therefore, if they offer a 10K mastermind that's normally priced at 100, you wouldn't even know what's in there. You'd be like, take my money. All right, let's go. I don't care what this is. This is amazing, right? So therefore, like I say, if you're able to establish a sense of authority, then that's going to be really powerful for building your business over the long term as well. And that does take time to build up, but you can create that fairly rapidly through things like authority by association, through interviews, through testimonials, through, you know, like I say, social proof, things like that as well. Probably a whole list of other things. I'm just trying to keep it to the point. Anyway, so if you got your offer, you got a bit of authority, then those two are going to do pretty well in terms of the lifting the business for you. Lifting the needle, I was going to say, lifting the needle up, because the needle was really heavy. You got your authority, you got your badass offer. Obviously, you need an audience and a conversion mechanism, right? And these two together, in my opinion, you've got authority if you're able to create that, and you've got, I guess, a really badass offer that, like I say, is the perception of value is massive compared to the competitors, all that type of stuff. Then it's going to do a lot of that heavy lifting for you. Of course, you do still need eyeballs on the offer in order to sell some stuff, right? My massive recommendation is that you stick with one method of conversion to start with. Now, I close people in DMs to high ticket stuff. Like literally, I'll just make a deal on the fly. I close people with a Google Doc, just like, here's my Google Doc, magic words, buy the stuff, right? Sometimes I hop on a call. I do a lot of calls. Because I want to see who's on the other side of that equation. I'm not opposed to getting on a call. I know a lot of people sort of fear it, which I can't really understand, but you know, how do you know who you're going to deal with on the other side of that if you don't actually see their body language and communicate with them and all that type of stuff, right? So anyway, the point being is that there's a whole bunch of ways that you can deal with people and acquire them as clients. And it doesn't have to be linear, it doesn't have to be stuck with one thing forever. Like I say, I'm relatively malleable, it really depends on the situation. However, if you're getting started, you're in the earlier stages, I would just stick with one. My probably strongest advice would be to stick with calls, quite simply because you do get used to it. And if you can understand that you can pick up the phone, you can have a normal conversation with someone, you can find out what their frustrations are, you can actually see whether or not your solution is going to be the right one for them, and you're able to eloquently communicate to them that that is the right solution. That is a skill that will feed you for life. That is sales, right? It's going to feed you for life. So I would encourage you to jump on the phone, and you're going to learn so much about content as a result. You're going to learn so much about the pain points. You're going to get active feedback in real time, which is super powerful. All this stuff which has its massive benefits. So I would stick with that to start with, right? And it's not going to be easy to start with. You're probably going to be fumbling over your words. You might be a bit nervous the first 300 times like I was. But the point being is that you get better at it over time, and you do get a read for the other person. You can kind of go, okay, my intuition is telling me I probably shouldn't be working with this person. They're not going to be the right fit for what I have, right? And once you get to that point and you're able to just push away the people that you can't serve, guess what? Elevate your authority, because now you've got a sense of exclusivity around your coaching offers. Powerful stuff, right? So anyway, content, which is the audience part of it. How do you build an audience? Yeah, you can just call it traffic if you want. You can go and run some ads, like I say, or you can go out there and find some people and you just throw them at your funnel, all that type of stuff. Nothing wrong with that, it works. What I prefer to do is build a longer term relationship with my audience. It means that I have longevity both in terms of my customer base, my lifetime customer value expands over time because people tend to buy more stuff once they face new problems that one particular product or whatever solves. They'll usually have a new problem that comes into play, and so therefore if you've got another thing that you can help them with, it's not that you're trying to keep things from people by doing so, by the way. Often, for example, I will create a masterclass, and the masterclass is only ever designed to solve that one specific issue that they may be facing, such as content issues, or maybe they don't know how to actually launch their own masterclass, for example. So I'll create a masterclass to solve that issue for them. But then of course there is another issue on the other side of that which tends to arise, and then this is business in general, right? This is basically once you've got something solved and you've got traction in your business, then there's going to be, you know, tax, the setup, tax minimization, and all that type of stuff along the way, right? So, and then mindset things, which is an ongoing battle, etc, etc, etc. Anyway, so the point being is that if you're able to build an audience, you're able to build a relationship with your audience over time. What it does is allow you to have a stronger and longer lifetime customer value from your customer base, which is what I highly recommend. Wrapping it all up, I'm going to go back. So hopefully this is all making sense. Leave a comment, let me know if you want me to elaborate on any of the stuff, or if I'm sort of all over the place. Always appreciate the engagement. Anyway, now that you've got an understanding of that, actually no, sorry. Let me back. I didn't really dive into the audience stuff. I just kind of gave an outline. So what I would do if I was starting again is exactly what I'm doing now, absent of the 900 other things I was trying to do at the same time. I guess that the point being is that focus on the few that are going to move the needle in your business. Build a badass offer, right? Start to work out how you can create some authority. Go and reach out and meet the people, and I don't necessarily mean physically. You can if you want, but you know, we're online. We've got billions of people online now. Go and find some people and just network with those folks. Provide some sort of value. Create content which aims to solve those problems for them. Looks to pre-sell some of the stuff that you've got. Looks to expose certain aspects of your actual offer, which is giving hints that it might solve their problems, all that type of stuff. And then over time, you're going to start to build up an audience. It doesn't necessarily need to be a long time. Like say, what I teach inside my Ultimate Marketing Mastermind is how to rapidly do this and how to take a very tiny audience that you have a good relationship with and monetize it pretty succinctly as well, which is cool. Point being is that you go out there, you find some people. Now, circling back, if I was to start this whole game again, I would just go focus on Facebook if I'm a high ticket affiliate marketer. And the reason for that is it allows you to do one-to-many approach. So you can put up one piece of content and a whole bunch of people see it through video content, through your posts, through all that type of stuff. Or also allows you to have the one-to-one contact as well. So you can have a one-to-one sales conversation with people in Messenger, right? And because of that dynamic aspect, that's why I really like it. Now you can do the same thing on LinkedIn. I've also acquired customers from Twitter, also acquired customers from Instagram before. So it's not specifically just one platform. The principles that I'm talking about here are universal, but I'm just kind of getting you to understand that if you stay focused on one thing to start with, it's going to be easier and make your life a whole lot better in the long run. Right, jump onto Facebook. What I teach is Facebook groups specifically. They are an absolute goldmine if you do them right. What you need to do is create your group, look at ways to get your ideal avatar, your customer avatar into that group. So people that have a want and a need, and you have a solution on the other side of that, and basically start to invite them into that community. Now from there, you want to elevate your authority. There's a couple of ways that you can do that through things like well-placed lead magnets. You can do that by well-placed training that looks to solve those problems for them. You can talk about some of the results that you've had in the past. You can talk about some of the failures in a small degree, just to show a bit of vulnerability, and that allows you to build that relationship with that audience as well. So I would do that, look at how I can elevate my authority as a result, and then look at people that are metaphorically raising their hand, that are interested in what I'm promoting and what I'm selling. And then from there, I would look to take them through a very basic sales process to get eyeballs onto my offer. Now, the presentation of that offer, like I say, can be really simple. It can be a funnel if you want to go fancy. It can be a Google Doc. Like I say, I sell a lot of stuff in Google Doc, or you can hop on a call and you can explain exactly what you've got and how it's going to fit their specific situation in a very dynamic way as well. Right, so all that being said, swiping back to the beginning. So, in the beginning. So 2019, I'd struggled for many years to build my business. I started affiliate marketing in 2011, really didn't get any traction. I was sort of all over the place, like doing everything that I'm telling you now to do. I was doing the opposite of that. It's kind of why I feel well versed on teaching this type of stuff. Anyway, so then late 2019, finally, after aligning the stars and all that type of stuff, and basically having a badass offer, elevating my authority, and already had a little bit of an audience, not a hugely engaged one, but a little bit of an audience, and putting these things together with a very simple conversion process, which is quite literally me hopping on a Zoom call, explaining what I was doing and whether that would be suitable for them. All of a sudden, I had my first $1,000 day, and I'm like, whoa! Because I'm in Australia, it was like $1,300, and I was like, oh my god, this worked. Why did it take so long? Tears of joy, all that type of stuff. And so then I had another one the next day, so I was like, yeah, it wasn't a fluke. That's brilliant. And then that was my first 10K month. It was just shy of 10, 9,800 and whatever, semantics. 10K month. Never let the truth stand in the way of a good story, right? Point being is that what I did between then and now, when I'm sitting between 30 and 40K, still with organic. I don't really get into the ads just yet. I'm looking at the YouTube stuff, like I say, but not really just yet to much of a degree, put it that way. So then what's happened? Like, how did I go from that to, 30, 40K? Because I'm doing this day in, day out, I optimized my processes. I became very efficient with my sales mechanism. I refined absolutely every aspect of that. My content got better because I'm writing every day, and so I write some pretty good copy, which sells a lot of stuff, which is really cool. I've started to improve my video content. Thank you for the new subscribers. If you are new here, then really appreciate you. A lot of my older stuff is, you can see the timeline of me improving over the years. It's quite fascinating. So anyway, improved my content, optimized my process, learned the fundamentals of sales, of marketing, of offer creation, of branding, all that type of stuff, refined that, got better at it, got over my own mindset issues, which we all face, by the way. And yeah, pretty much just narrowed down on that. Now, my business is still not complex, and interestingly enough, when I found my business starts to unravel and I start to lose momentum, and maybe I don't have a huge income month, for example, then I know what's usually happening. I've deviated from my core plan. My core plan is literally still on Facebook, but I'm using these outliers like YouTube, like other platforms for that matter, to drive new traffic. And so I'm just looking at building out my ecosystem over time. Every time I deviate too far from these simple things that I normally follow on a day-to-day basis, that's when my income tends to blow up, right? So I start to become a little bit scattered. And so I have to remind myself, oh, okay, well, I need to unscatter myself. And every time I come back to exactly what I just told you guys, build my authority, create a badass offer, refine that as you go through, learn how to make it better and better and better and better, create content which resonates with your ideal audience, build up your audience over the long term, start to put out some organic content, which then, builds out over time. And once I narrow in on those things and having one singular conversion mechanism, then things start to take back off again, and I'm saved. So the point of all this big video here is really just to tell you guys, focus on the few that are going to move the needle in your business. Now, whatever that is, if it's not Facebook, that's absolutely fine. Like I say, I've got clients that do a whole bunch of stuff on Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok, you name it. It doesn't matter. The principles are still going to be the same. It is building an offer, creating authority, resonating with your ideal audience, pushing away the people that you can't serve through polarity in your content. And when you do, you combine all these things together with a singular conversion mechanism, then you'll find that you'll start to slingshot your results pretty damn quick. So anyway, I really appreciate you guys tuning in. Hopefully you got some value out of this. Drop a comment, let me know your thoughts, and stay tuned. I'm going to be putting out a lot more content on this channel. Hit the subscribe button if you got value, and really appreciate you guys. See you in the next one.